We as women won our rights to vote on August 18th of 1920. However, unequal pay wasn't outlawed until June 10th of 1963, almost 43 years later. The gender pay gap is no secret in our society, just one not often mentioned. So here are the actual statistics and the reports on the matter, as well as some solutions. The information that I have gathered in this discussion will be that used from Forbes magazine as well as the AAUW's foundation reports, with additional information coming from the COP as well as the US EEOC. Now, it is important to understand and be knowledgeable of the difference that us women face due to the inequality and be a voice in change that is needed in our society. In this discussion, I will be talking about the problems in which women face due to the gender pay gap, as well as some solutions that may be presented to help women in the future and lower the wage gap that we face in today. Now, did you know that there is a day in which did you know that there was a day established in America to acknowledge the gender pay gap between the male and female counterparts? This day is called the Equal Pay Day, and it does not have a specific date, unlike that of Valentine's Day or Christmas. And this is simply because each year the date changes depending on the annual income of the males the year prior. This day will be sometimes either in late March or early April. And this is to show that it takes on average a woman 3 to 4 months to equal out the amount of pay that a man gets in a 12-month span. According to the US EEOC, the date for the Equal Pay Day was on March 24th this past year. Now, you might be wondering where these statistics come from and how these organizations are able to be aware of what day this is going to happen. And this is simply because we are able to find out what an average male pay is in comparison to the female pay. According to Forbes magazine, there is a gender pay gap that has been narrowing ever so slowly within the past years, centuries. You can look at the handout given for a better look at graphs to see the lineage of progression. But when comparing the male annual income in comparison to the female's annual income, reports has shown that a woman makes on average 82% of the male dollar. So though the gap is closing, it is still very much so prominent in our society, and reports have shown that the current rate in which the gap will close will be around 2059. This can even follow women into retirement due to the annual lower amount of income that a woman makes in her lifetime, according to the AAUW. Now, all I've talked about are the issues in which women face because of the gender pay gap, but I haven't talked about any solutions that could cause a change. According to the COP, there are many ways in which we can things can be changed to lower the gap in wages. And one of those is by simply supporting pay transparency. This is because oftentimes jobs do not allow you to mention or discuss or mention the amount of pay in which one receives with their coworkers. And because of this, women are not allowed to reach out and understand whether or not they are being paid differently according to their peers. Another way in which we can close the gap is by supporting the passing of the family and medical leave insurance policy, because women are often thought of as the caregivers of the family, and because of this, it's often put on the women to leave work to take care of their sick child without any paid compensation. Because they're to take care of their child. However, some of this might sound as though it may be out of your hand or out of your control. However, if you were to join us, women, and countless men in the spreading of the awareness, you can cause a domino effect and be the change in which our society needs. So join us and spread the awareness and spread the awareness and evoke positive change in our society. This discussion was to help bring awareness to the disadvantages women face because of the gender pay gap, as well as give out some solutions to help decrease the gender pay gap. As you can tell, there is no secret in the gender pay gap. And according to Forbes magazine, women make on average 82% of the male dollar, and the gap is not expected to close anytime soon, at least not until 2059. And this gap is even mentioned every year in a day sometime either in late March to early April, which is that of the Equal Pay Day. The pay gap present in our society today is another way in which our nation is able to belittle women and keep them under the control of men. It is our job as a society to be the change and to evoke a difference